And it wasn't until I was 28 when I came into a personal relationship, and it just changed our lives. Then one of the leaders asked me to be a helper, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And then they asked me to be a leader. Me, a leader, what? And I was also at that point of also struggling with the love of God for me. Like if I did something wrong, still that Catholic guilt.
Hey, thank you so much for watching, listening. I'm gonna give you a joke right out of the gate so we can get it out of the way because it's like grown worthy. But actually this one's a kind of a good one. What kind of lights did Noah use on the I just gave it away. On the ark, he used floodlights. Oh my gosh, and I gave it away, the punchline, even before I finished. It is so bad, but thankfully it spared you too much distress. Thank you again for watching, listening, subscribing. I have a cool guest with me today, Jeanne Rodriguez. Thanks for hanging out, Jeanne.
I'm so excited to be here. I can't tell you how much I'm excited.
Cool. You have a book here called When Hope Met Hopelessness, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
But what I want to do is just kind of get to know you a little bit. Where are you from?
Well, originally I was raised in New Jersey for 18 years, and then I joined the Air Force.
Yeah.
And they got stationed in California and fell in love with California, fell in love with my husband.
Yeah.
And so ended up, spent 10 years in the Air Force, over 10 years.
Yeah.
Loved it. Married to my husband. My husband is Reuben, and we just celebrated 43 years.
Wow, that's an achievement. A total achievement. So what'd you do in the Air Force?
I started out as a warehouse person, driving forklifts and stuff. And then I became an inspector of the warehouse. And then I became an Air Force recruiter.
Oh.
And from there, I went to the group headquarters and worked in operations and then advertising publicity.
Where's the group headquarters?
In fact, it was at Mather. So I was an Air Force recruit in Stockton. And then the group headquarters was in Mather Air Force Base.
Where is that?
I forget. We're not in California.
No, Colorado, but it's kind of close.
It's in Sacramento, California.
Oh, okay. And what do you like about California?
The weather. From New Jersey, it gets cold, really cold in the winter. And summer, even though the temperatures don't get as high as California, the humidity. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it could be 80 and you're sweating. I mean, you feel like you take a shower and you come out and you're as wet as while you're in the shower.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So I go back, usually I like to go back in April, May, September, October. I pick the months. I go back and always visit my sister and their family.
Yeah. Is your sister older or younger?
She's older. She's 17 months older than I am.
Nice.
I'm the second of 6.
Oh, wow. 6 kids.
There were 6 kids.
So here's the fat pitch. Were your parents Catholic?
Yes, they were.
I wonder, right? That's fun. So are all the kids still alive?
In fact, my brother Kevin died when he was 17 and I was 19. So that was rough. In fact, my mom really had 8 pregnancies, full pregnancies.
Wow.
But 2 of the babies died young.
Yeah.
In infancy.
Yeah. So were you raised Catholic then?
Yes. Raised Catholic. Felt I loved the Lord, but I did not have I didn't understand about that personal relationship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was 28 when I came into a personal relationship, and it just changed our lives. It just changed our lives.
So what'd you think of all the church stuff before 28?
And so, well, you went to church on Sunday, you did the sacraments, you did the holy days. I understood the basic. I knew I was a sinner.
Yeah.
I knew Jesus died for my sin and that he forgives my sin when I ask for it. I believed in the basic enough to get into heaven.
Sure.
Okay. But it wasn't until I came into a relationship that I realized he wanted to talk to me. He really loved me.
Yeah.
I always felt like, it's true as far as Catholics that guilt and the works and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so once you come into a relationship, you realize that's not what it's based on. It's your heart.
Right.
It's your heart. So.
Right. Right. So, what's your ethnic background?
Oh, Irish Catholic.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, but the Rodriguez.
Yeah.
My husband was a Puerto Rican Catholic.
Oh, wow. That's fun. So have you been to Ireland?
No, but I've been to Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's fun. Totally good.
But we keep talking about going to Ireland.
Yeah, yeah. And so when you came to have a relationship with Jesus, and when you're 28, was that any kind of a problem for your family?
Yes, just a tad. But you know what? In the end, my mom accepted it. But as she said near the end of her life, she says, God's in your church too.
Well, that's nice.
And so, we made much progress.
Yeah.
Much progress.
Yeah.
And so I'm so blessed that both my boys and their spouses all love the Lord.
Yeah. That's
So.
cool. That's totally cool. And I also read you like women's ministry.
I love women's ministry. I love women.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to think, it was in fact in 1992, I went to a new church, and I up to that point I had never been involved in women's ministry, never, and I was involved in missionettes. I was director of missionettes, and I served as far as in the kitchen and stuff like that. So I came to this church, and they did not have missionettes, and I didn't know where I belonged. And I went to their first retreat of that church, and I had gotten up early and walking around, just talking to God.
Yeah.
Where do I belong here? I mean, I was there for now maybe 5 months. I didn't know where I fit, and I, in fact, I said, and who am I really? And in my spirit, I heard God say, "You're to serve the women." And I thought, I can do that. I can serve women. And I walked in later on, they had a fellowship hall. There was like 70 women. And keep in mind, I probably could name 5 women. I really didn't know that many women. And I remember as I'm walking towards them, my heart became so enlarged. I started just crying, weeping, loving these women.
Yeah.
And I remember standing there just crying and saying, Lord, I can't love I don't know these women to love them. And I was also at that point of also struggling with the love of God for me. Like if I did something wrong, still that Catholic guilt,
Yeah.
And as I stood there, saying, I can't love these women. I don't know them. And I just heard the Lord in my spirit say, this is a little taste of how much I love you.
Wow.
The incredible thing is God never took that love out of my heart for them. And from that point on, it was so easy just to serve. And so I initially knew at the church, helping clear tables at women's functions. And then one of the leaders asked me to be a helper. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And then they asked me to be a leader. Me, a leader, what? And then little by little, I was in charge of the retreats. Can it get any better? And then I became the director, the women's director. And it's like, you almost feel like you died and went to heaven. Could it get any better?
Wow.
So God, I just love women.
Mm-hmm. And what's the attraction? I mean, not like, but why is that so
God
endearing?
I think it just put it in my heart to serve them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the big thing. It was something God wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Because he knew me better than I knew me.
Yeah.
And once he put it in my heart, he just never took it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just grew. It just grew.
Yeah. That's cool. So this is kind of a weird question, but I come up with weird questions. So how did you do women's ministry during COVID?
Well, by that point, I was an interesting thing. I was in women's ministry when Crystal died. And so
Crystal is your daughter-in-law. Yep.
And that's in fact, and we'll talk about that later. But I was gone I could not go back to work for months.
Yeah.
And so when I came back, that spot had to be filled. I mean, women's ministry goes on.
Sure.
And I became a receptionist for years. But I have always stayed connected with women. Like right now, I have it's all women, and it's just mamas who have lost their child. And so it's a mama's grief group.
Wow.
And right now we have 11 who have lost ranging from suicide, fentanyl overdose, cancer. It's just,
There's no grief like a mom losing her
oh,
kid.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's lots of different grief groups, but this
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
just
Yep.
for moms.
Yep. I met a mom one time in Angola, that's in Africa, and she had 11 kids, and she lost 10.
Wow, break my heart.
Yeah, and when I met her, I mean, she was kind of like a zombie, half alive.
Yes, yes.
And she had a daughter and two grandkids, and the daughter named her daughter after her mom. So Celestina was the mom, and Celestina was the granddaughter. But I've been around moms who have lost, and wow.
Well, I just remember as far as feeling like my heart was shattered. I honestly couldn't even grasp how God could put my heart back together.
Yeah, yeah,
But his faithfulness.
yeah, is new every morning.
Yes.
And that sunrise kind of helps a little bit sometimes.
Absolutely, Sarah.
Yeah, and then I think nighttime can be dark.
Oh, yes.
And those are times that are really difficult. Dark seasons, nights, and yeah. So, and what do you do to relax?
One of my favorite pastimes really is meeting friends, having coffee.
Yeah.
I really like quality time. I like really spending one-on-one time or one-on-two,
Sure.
But I like that one-on-one. We have a Bible study. In fact, we've been together. In fact, June, it will be 20 years.
Wow.
And we knew each other even before then. So I think I love being together in a group, but I love one-on-one. And of course, I'm a grandma now.
Yeah.
And I love being a grandma.
Yeah. And how old are your grandkids?
I have 3.5. Quinn is 3.5, and little Mason is 7 months.
Sweet.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's so great.
It's a great age.
And fun and vibrant. And like the world is their oyster, right? I'm learning, it's new, explore.
Oh, they're a delight. They say, I would hear from my Bible study, most of them were grandparents already, and I'd hear how they just loved it, and it's like, any day now.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it's just a whole different experience of having to raise your own children.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes when I get to that place.
I know,
Yeah. Do you like to read? Do you like movies, music, any of that?
Oh, I love music, all kinds of music. I love Christian music, but I love the oldies and goodies. I love John Denver.
Tina Turner?
And so, yes,
Right?
I'm telling you, I just, I really love music. I used to be an avid reader, but Sarah, when I went for my master's,
Yeah.
I had to read so much and wrote so many papers that I kind of have put it on the side.
Sure.
I really have.
Yep.
I don't read as much as I used to because you got your master's. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do.
Tons of reading. So it didn't turn
Takes
into,
the read out of you.
Yeah, it really does take the
Yeah.
read out of you.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what I did that kind of helped me is like I picked up fiction. And I hadn't really read fiction much.
Oh, okay.
And then a friend of mine was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong with me." He's just like, "Well, you need to try some fiction. Here, try a Pulitzer." And I did.
Okay.
I read this book called All the Light We Cannot See.
I saw the movie.
The book? And then when you read the book, you don't even know you're reading. It is that good. Oh my goodness.
And I always knew books are always better than movies. Always.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
I would read all kinds of different things. One I loved. Do you remember the Left Behind series?
Yep.
I actually read that twice.
Wow.
just the imagination of taking Revelation and how, because you read Revelation, you say, how the heck is that going to happen? That they could be so creative in making it that it was believable.
Yeah. Yeah. That's totally cool. Did you see Boys in the Boat?
Yes. Yes.
Supposedly that book is great.
See? Okay, I need to be pulling some of my movies into books.
Yeah. Sometimes that's and I like the books. Unbroken.
Yes. Oh,
also a great read.
Yes, I read that one.
That's nice, huh?
I've read that one. Yes.
Fun. Favorite thing to eat?
Food.
Nice.
I love a good ribeye with a little lobster tail on the side.
Bone in, bone out.
Either way, you know, I'll do it either way, but bone in.
You like rare, medium rare?
Medium rare.
Medium rare, nice.
Yes.
And a ribeye can stand that.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
You can put a medium because all the fat is nice.
But that's my
get you.
favorite, the
I
favorite
get you.
one.
Do you like seafood?
Love seafood.
Because you got coasts.
Well, I was going to say, keep in mind on Friday, you know, being Catholic, Friday you didn't eat meat.
Yeah.
And so seafood was cheap back then. And so, in fact, I remember as a kid going clamming and going crabbing.
Oh.
Yep. So we would get, one time we had, keep in mind, we have 6 in our family. We would get together with my mom's family who one had 6, one had 4, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they would take us down to the waters, the dads, and they would put fish heads on a rope. And they would line all of us up, all the kids, and they'd say, okay, you have to be really quiet. Well, they threw the heads out there, and they said, when you feel like something's nibbling, very quietly, but pull it in. And so you have all these kids, and we're pulling it in, and they're just scooping it up and throwing it out, quiet as can be.
Wow.
All these young kids, you know, and then we'd have a crab feast.
Nice, nice, nice. Like a crab broil?
Yes, yes, with
Kids
the corn and exactly.
Delicious. Put a little Old Bay in that.
Yeah. Oh, how can you not?
Naturally, right? That's great. That's great. Totally good. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening. Thank you for subscribing. I'm super glad to have the time with you. And of course, right here, hit the notification bell. We will keep you posted with new content. And thanks again.